Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever or wherever you're watching. I'm not on camera today because I look like hell. It's my own fault. I didn't take care of my anemia, and now I have dark circles around my eyes. I spent the weekend not taking my vitamin supplements and not drinking my green drink, so here we are today. Let's get into 90 Day Fiance Season 9, Episode 13, The Elephant in the Womb. How is everyone, by the way? I'm going to make myself extra small today. There we go. We'll have the images really big. Chris says, hey, everybody. And I will get into it. We're going to start with Patrick, Tice, and John. I always call them Patrick, Tice, and John because they come as a trio. It's not a couple. It's Patrick, Tice, and Patrick's brother, John. So they get up and they're still stretching this Tice, not telling her dad about them getting married storyline. And it's really boring. So I chose to check out their kitchen instead, which I really like. They have I think is that Chris would know. Is that a pasta sink? It looks like it might be a pasta sink. So it says no video today. No video today. I look like hell. I'm not getting on camera like that. I have standards. I almost canceled. I almost was like, I don't want to do it today. I'll just do it tomorrow, but I didn't want to skip a show. So I'd rather just not be on camera than to completely skip a show. Chris says she's doing great. Hope my day is going well, other than just, trying to get myself. I think you can hear it in my voice too. My voice sounds a little weird, but I'm going to get my iron levels back up to normal. Fomiki Latte says, hey, y'all. But like I was saying, I think they have a pasta sink, and I like that. I like these. I shouldn't have done that because now the thing is over it. The light switches, the larger light switches, I like that. I like this kitchen a lot. I might have opted for different handles on the cabinets, but I like that there are so many cabinets. Storage is a big deal. Like when you're looking for houses, look for the houses that have good storage, good closet space, because that's going to be a pain in the behind if you don't have that, especially in the South. I don't know about so much in Texas, but in Florida, a lot of houses don't have basements, and we barely have attics. So you really need a lot of storage space. So yeah, two thumbs up for this kitchen. I like it. And she had the nerve to complain about this house. The nerve of her. She said this house, does this house look, wait, let me go back one more time. Does this look like it's too small? She said this was too small. You don't even have any kids yet. This is a beautiful house. I hate people that aren't appreciative of things. So anyway, Thais goes out with her friends. What are their names? Nadia and Kayla. Nadia is also from Brazil, and Kayla she met at the party where she was acting all stuck up that Patrick threw. So not Patrick, I'm sorry, John threw the party. So you acted all stuck up and gotten all your feelings about John throwing a party for nothing because you ended up making a friend out of it. Also, they discuss how Patrick has told her that he wants to have their wedding in Orlando. Now she must not know about Orlando, but Orlando has some beautiful places here, really really beautiful places, and also like everyone is so focused on California. Even what's her name, Miona. Everyone wants to be in California for the I guess the look of it and everything. But like literally, we basically have almost everything in Florida that California has, except for earthquakes. And our beaches are prettier, in my opinion. The beaches in Florida are prettier than beaches in California. And we also have a problem right now with all these Californians running their asses to Florida. You guys are running here and you're making all the prices go up. Stay in California. Tony says, does it matter to me? You can look like hell, raspy voice. You're still Lady Shasha. I love the house as well. Yeah, that house is nice. I have a photo. Um, Chris says also, it's a nice house. I have a photo of the outside of the house, and I really, really like it. But before I get to that, I want to finish this little part about her talking to her two new girlfriends about how, this is where I think Patrick overstepped his bounds. I think it's okay for him to want to plan the wedding in Orlando because he said his family's having a vacation there anyways, and it's economical for him to just have the wedding during the family vacation because everyone will be there. But he had already scheduled her hair and her makeup appointments, and that's going too far. Now that's something you have to let the bride pick her own hairstylist and makeup artist. Like that's just, what does Patrick know about hair and makeup artists? I just felt like that part was going way too far. So I agree with her on that one thing. Later on, Patrick and John are going to go try on suits for the wedding. Well, it's mostly Patrick trying to find his suit for the wedding. And I noticed like this is John Patrick's, I keep mixing them together. This is Patrick's Tesla, and from the outside, it looks like a cute little hatchback. And I didn't notice that on the inside, it's got a third row of seats. That's so wild to me because it looks very compact from the outside. But the white interior, see, that's the type of stuff I like. But I would be, if I had a car with a white interior, I'd probably be one of those people that's like, you can't eat in my car. You go in my car. But I like it. I like the interior. So they are on their way, and it's this story is stretched out so far. It's the same thing over and over again. She didn't tell her dad. She didn't tell her dad. Yeah, we get it. What else? So they get the suit place, and he's just trying on regular ass suits. These are not tuxedos for like a wedding. These are just regular spring suits, which I wonder, did he pass this by Thais? Because I'm pretty sure she would want him to wear a tuxedo, but he didn't pass anything by her regarding the wedding. Tony Man says, I had an Uber like that, very roomy. Yeah, it's very deceiving because from the outside, it really looks like a small hatchback car, and then you look on the inside, and it's another car that's roomy like that you wouldn't think would be. It's the Volkswagen Beetle. I knew someone in college that had one, and I remember getting in it and thinking, wow, this is a lot bigger on the inside than I thought it would be. Full Mickey Latte says he is doing too much now. Yeah, I saw the correction, so I auto corrected when I read it. Yeah, he is. He's doing too much. Like the girl got it. She has to get her own. And also, I don't think he understands her hair because what it appears to be that I think I'm looking at is a silk press or flat iron straight because her edges are curly, and I don't think he understands that her hair is not naturally straight. And so he might have gotten someone who is not accustomed to working with textured hair or curly hair. So that's an issue too. But like I said, more the same. She didn't tell her father. I was kind of, I feel like this was a filler episode, so I'm not going to go, too much into the storyline because it's the same old, same old. And again, you see the car again. This is the same car that we saw in the interior that had the 3 rows of seats. This does not look like it has 3 rows of seats in it. It's wild. But this is the house, and I like it. I like really modern houses like this. I like the size of the windows, although they do need to get some curtains because I don't like seeing straight into people's houses. I think it's a little, you might want some privacy. But yeah, I like this house a lot. The only thing that I would change is have a little bit more property around it, because I don't like how they build these big houses. And there's a neighborhood that's like across the street from my neighborhood that has houses kind of similar to this, and the similar size too. But they're so close to each other, like you could almost reach out your side window to your neighbor's window. I don't like that they're making these houses that close together. Like, what's the point of having this big, nice house and it still feels like an apartment because your neighbor is too close? Chris says, I think he's got tunnel vision with the planning. Yeah, he does. And he also has told her multiple times that because it's his money, he makes the decisions. He has the same type of attitude that I talked about yesterday with Amber and Daniel. Amber acting like, well, Daniel doesn't have a say-so in the house, even though he's the husband, just because he's not working at this time, which he can't work because of the K-1 visa status. Chris says, so he doesn't get her concerns. Not at all. He doesn't. To him, I don't think he sees her as a person. He sees her as an object. And that's the double-edged sword of being, the trophy wife. She wants a trophy wife life in that she doesn't cook or clean or do anything except apparently hold this little dog. Because he went to work. He mentioned that he got up, cooked breakfast, went to work, came home, cooked dinner, and this is her. That's what she did. She put makeup on and got dressed and played with the dog. Like, you couldn't make this man breakfast. You couldn't make him dinner. You couldn't do anything. Like, you literally are not working. You could, well, although I should get into the cooking thing. Last time we saw her cook, that didn't turn out so great. So yeah, I don't think people want to eat Thais's cooking, but still, it's the thought that counts. And she just seems just shy of useless. Other than, I guess, their bedroom activity is probably what's keeping him, yeah, because he did say that she was the best woman he'd ever had. Yeah, so basically that's what he sees her as. She's a walking sex toy. When she gets older, she'll figure out that may not be what she wants to be regarded as. Who knows? Tony says, if you want a house like that, word on the street is Bilal could help. I think not. We already established that he is a lying liar who lies. No. I'll go to Kara first, because by the way, Kara is also a real estate agent. Before I go to Bilal, Kara may be a bitch, but at least she's an honest bitch, I guess. Well, no, I take that back. She's not honest either, because she cheated on her ex, and that's not honest. So yeah, just don't trust realtors, I guess. I don't know. Don't trust realtors that go on 90-day fiance. Because I think the realtor I had was decent. She wasn't the best, but she was kind of new. So I'm making a joke about realtors. Do not take that for like gospel. I was literally making a joke about realtors. You can't judge any group of people based on one profession. But I'm just saying the realtors that we've seen on 90 Day, the people that we've seen on 90 Day are not the norm. Yeah, Chris says, Tony Man, no, exactly. The dog is cute, though. But she needs to do something else besides just that. I'm missing. Oh, there's something else Patrick says. That to him it's natural to bench 600 pounds, and he doesn't understand how some people are weak as shit. And I thought to myself when he said that, if it was natural, why did you get caught being on roids twice? Not once, but twice. So it wasn't natural to you to bench 600 pounds. That's why your head is too small for your body. Anyways, let's get into Emily and Kobe, I think is who I have next. Yeah. I love how on 90 Day they take the separate like pictures, like the first pictures of them at the beginning of the season will be them holding each other and smiling. And then towards the end of the season, they'll take these back to back pictures that are supposed to express that they're at odds with each other. I think that's cute. So, speaking of houses, this is Emily's parents' house, and I still can't believe that her father's an architect who built a house this size with one bathroom. Why would you make a house this size with one bathroom? Something right with him. Fomikilitis, I wonder if he the type of man that only go with a woman if her hair is straight. That could be the case. I've seen that before, just within my own life. I've seen when I was younger and I used to go out to places like clubs and stuff. I always noticed the difference in the amount of attention I would get with my natural hair, or the type of men that would approach me when I was wearing my hair natural versus when I had like a silk press or I had my hair flat ironed. It's like two different types of dudes approach you based on your hair. And in my opinion, the ones that approach you with your natural hair are a little bit better type than the type that only approach you with your straight hair. That's just my opinion. Tony says, I think Emily, who wants a ton of kids, and the Ethiopian dude should hook up. Yeah, because they want the same thing, but he'd be in the same situation he is with Ari, because Emily and Ari are just alternate versions of each other. They're both 29 years old and have never lived like complete adults, and their parents kind of sponsor them. So it's like you betray. The only difference is just the number of children that they want. Anyways, they're in this ranch, and Emily comes in and asks Kobe if he'll run an errand with her, and he's like, "Why can't she do it by herself?" Like he's doing anything other than laying on his backside, on his phone. You can't run an errand with her. For what reason? That just irritated me. Yeah, Chris says it's night and day with the hair. Yes, it is. I completely notice it. It's part of the reason why you don't see me with my hair straight too often anymore. Unless I might wear a wig like for videos, but I don't go out in public like that because I don't want that type of attention. And even doubly, if you color your hair. I went out one time and I had a blonde half wig on, and the amount of looks that I got just from having lighter hair from certain dudes was weird. It really illuminated something to me. So I mean, so it'd be a lateral move. Yes, for her it'd be a lateral. For him, for Benyon, it'd be a lateral move if he went from Ari to Emily. Same thing, same thing, different package. And we have a third one on 90 Day Love in Paradise. The other Ariana that's trying to get Sherlon to marry her. Same situation. Her mother literally went back to work from she was retired. She went back to work to support Ariana and her baby, which is so backwards to me because I said before that it should have been Ariana going to work and maybe asking her mother to babysit while she's at work, not having her elderly mother go back to work while she sits at home with the kid. That doesn't make any sense at all to me. Okay, so in the car, Emily tells Kobe that she might be pregnant, and this is him looking confused as if he's not a 35-year-old man who should know how the birds and the bees work. Talking about he pulled out. This is a 35-year-old man. I mean, you can't see me staring at the camera, but I'm staring at the camera. Um, there's no excuse for this. There's no excuse at all for this. So now go to the drugstore, which actually I'll skip over whatever it was she said. I don't even remember what she said. I don't think I took a note on it. No, they just talked about the pulling out issue, which like I don't know. I know in parts of America, our school systems are not unified, so some people learned that that wasn't a viable method, and other people didn't. It depended on where you went to school. But I guess where Emily went to school, she didn't learn that that was not a viable method. Anyways, they're at the drugstore, and it kind of reminds me of the drugstore. Shout out to anyone that grew up in a small town. This really is what our drugstores look like, and they're not like, and I mean small town. Like in my small town, um, we had one CVS on the edge of town, but towards the center of town, we had a K drug, and K drug, which is I guess it was open since the 40s or 50s, but this is what it kind of looked like inside. That's small town Americana stuff. Like this is not CVS, Walgreens. Those are the real nice drugstores. Those are like when you know you're in a medium sized town, but small town is what our drugstores looked like. So he says, I laughed out loud here when they mentioned the pulling out. Yeah, Fomiculite says the rhythm method. Yeah, and the reason why for anyone that's young that's watching and they don't have that in school, the reason why that doesn't work is because of something called pre-ejaculate, which comes out early during sexual activity that can contain sperm in it. So there is a little bit of the purpose of pre-ejaculate is in the olden days to pre-lubricate the penis. It's the body's natural system of pre-lubricating the penis. But within that pre-ejaculate, there's a very minute amount of sperm, but it's still there, and that's what can still impregnate you before actual ejaculation. So yeah. Why did I turn this into a sex ed? Hey, somebody's got to help the babies. There's so much bad information online that's steering them in the wrong direction. Somebody's got to help them out in the right direction should they happen upon this video. Tony Man says, I used to live in a small town and grew up in that same small town. That sounds like you're quoting lyrics to a John Cougar Mellencamp song. Chris says, I'm annoyed she's talking like she knows sex can make babies and he doesn't. And she still used no protection with him. Exactly. They could have gotten condoms at that same drugstore. I just pictured Dorothy from the Golden Girls yelling, condoms, 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 Blanche. If you've seen that episode of the Golden Girls, you know what I'm talking about. So they go in to the store's bathroom, and that's where she takes the pregnancy test. And she says that they're positive that there's 2 lines, but I only see 1 line. So I'm guessing this is probably a reenactment or something. Because a lot of the things that they show us on 90 Day are reenactments of stuff that's already happened. And I don't know whether she had already had her second child at this point, because the streets say she's already had the second child and it's a little girl. So I hate that 90 Day doesn't put a gag order on the participants so that we don't have all this information, because it really kind of spoils the show for you, Let me take this down so you guys can see. Yeah, I think maybe there's a faint second line coming in there, but it's really hard to see it. I think that's all that happened in their story. Let's get to Guillermo and Kara, and from now on I'm calling him Mimo, which is the nickname for Guillermo because I just feel like calling him Mimo. So Mimo and Kara are getting ready for their wedding, and like the true alcoholic that Kara is, look at all these little bottles of Patron. That's her party favors for her wedding. Miniature bottles of Patron. That is I didn't even know that was an option. I never even thought of that for being a party favor. Tommy says, I was, LOL, good catch. She said condoms would be embarrassing if dad found out. Never mind the uncomfortable talks with dad to mention pregnancy. If dad found out, you're literally bucking in his house. Like, you might hear the bed squeaking and you're worried about a condom wrapper. Yeah, I'd be more worried about my parents hearing the bed squeaking. That would kind of turn me off a little bit as an adult. All right, so like I was saying, they're getting what she's having Mimo do is tie these little ribbons with little notes around the Patron bottles that are her party favors, and she's questioning him on every little single thing: the suit, his haircut, how is he going to get a ride there? Like, it's very mother son ish. And of course, Guillermo doesn't like that because he's been trying to tell y'all the whole season that he is a grown ass man, even though he looks very very young. He's still a grown ass man. It's adorable when he. I'm sorry. That is so wrong. I should be respecting his autonomy as an adult, but I can't not look at that adorable face and go, "Oh, isn't that so cute? He's saying he's grown." I'm sorry, Mimo. People are gonna see you're gonna be one of those people like Keanu Reeves, where you're really gonna get into your like your grown man like ishness in your 40s, and people are like you just at the beginning. But I love it though. So later he goes to go get his hair cut, and he says that Kizzy is the only person that he trusts to do his hair. And I love that. You can see this is him greeting her, saying it's a pleasure to meet you. And he starts talking to her like the way people do. I wrote in my notes that hairstylists and bartenders are like unofficial therapists, because people just automatically start talking about their issues and their problems to hairstylists and bartenders. And she actually says to him, well, maybe you need to discuss this with her and put it on the table what your concerns are about her and about her controllingness. Tony Man says, this dude annoyed me when he talked to the hairdresser. I barely speak when I get a haircut. Never mind spilling my guts. She's cutting hair, not a shrink. But people do that. You might not do that, but a lot of people talk to their hairdresser, especially if if they develop a relationship with their hairdresser. Like if it's the same person that they go to every week. There's even barbershop and beauty parlor culture where groups of people, it's like the same groups of people. You saw a little bit of that. If you've seen Coming to America, you've seen a little, just a taste of that barbershop culture of the people that come every week, and they have a rapport with each other and they know each other. And that's just like a thing. Well, I should say it's a thing within African American culture. I can't speak for European American culture. I don't know what they do in European American salons. I have never been to one. But in African American culture, we have a barbershop beauty parlor culture where we talk to each other. And possibly where Guillermo's coming from in Venezuela, they might have the same thing, because he felt very comfortable talking to Kizzy, and Kizzy seemed very comfortable talking to him. Kizzy told him that he needed to communicate his concerns to Kara. And I like how Kizzy spoke to him, but she's probably used to people talking about their problems to her all the time. But she seemed really, really nice. And you can see in his face, he seems more at ease here than he's ever seemed with Kara. And this is him thinking about what Kizzy said. I had to capture that moment of him being introspective and thinking about the conversation he just had. So then later, Kizzy also talks to us, and she is trying to be kind of positive about their relationship between Guillermo and Kara, but I can see in her eye that that's a literal side eye. Like she's giving a literal side eye. Yeah, Chris said barbershop talk is a big part of culture. Yes, it is. The only thing, it's like a positive and a negative, because there's a sense of community in beauty parlor and barbershop culture. But then the negative in that is that some of the older people in the barbershop might be telling you the wrong thing to do. Sometimes a person that's older doesn't always know the right thing to do, and they done messed up their life, and they're about to mess up yours if you take their bad advice. So be very careful of barbershop advice. Take into account who is giving this advice. How did their life turn out? Did they follow their own advice, or are they telling you to do that? Could be a positive if they tell you don't do what they did. Saying that now, if they're telling you don't do what I did because this is what happened, I get that. But you got some people out there that they are what we call an old fool. Don't listen to old fools. Fomiculite says, my family had the same barber for 15 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you develop a relationship. And if you can find someone that is good with your hair and that's my biggest thing, is does what you want them to do with your hair, because that's part of the reason why I personally don't always like going to salons because when I was a teenager, I had some bad experiences at salons with people doing what they wanted to do rather than what I wanted them to do. Also, people cutting too much of your hair because they made a mistake. Like, oops, it's crooked. Oops, it's crooked. Let me fix it. Oops, it's crooked. Yeah, that. So now I'm a little iffy about who I let cut my hair, which is mostly just me. I let me cut my hair. Later on, Kara and Guillermo will go out to dinner at this place where everybody is dressed up, but they're serving their drinks in the wrong glasses. Like literally, I couldn't capture a picture of it because it went too fast. But she ordered a margarita and they served it in a regular glass and not a margarita glass. Like there's different glasses. There's red wine glasses, white wine glasses. There's champagne flutes, two different types of champagne flutes, and there's margarita glasses. They served it to her in a type of glass that you would serve like if she had ordered like an Arnold Palmer. That's the type of glass that they gave to her, like a regular like little cocktail glass. At first I almost questioned myself and said, well, maybe she ordered a mimosa because mimosa might come in that type of glass, but not a margarita. So anyways, this the Virgo in me going into hyperdrive. So I mean, says I don't take advice because everyone lived a different life. What worked for one may not work for the other. I just listen. Yeah. Well, there's an expression, eat the chicken and leave the bones, which means you take in the information that applies to you and is helpful to you and leave the information that does not apply to you or is unhelpful to you. So again, eat the chicken and leave the bones. This is her mid eye roll as Guillermo's voicing his objection to her being so controlling. And she's saying that 2 days before the wedding is not the right time to tell somebody to change. So she's basically not going to change. The other issue that he has with her is the drinking. He doesn't like how drunk that she gets to the point where he has described it as her not being able to remember what she did the next day. And that's really, really bad. And so, she's not trying to hear any of that. And she tells him, let's just leave. They don't even have dinner. And what was so rude is when she gets up to leave and he doesn't immediately move, she says so rudely, why are you still sitting? Like he literally just told you about how it's bothering him that you're so controlling and that you don't talk to him like an equal. And you immediately proceed to not talk to him like an equal. And that's his face with the whole situation. That's all of our faces. I said yesterday, because I had mentioned Daniel getting away from Amber, and I think Guillermo needs to do the same thing while they still have a chance. Because, like I said, Kobe and what's his name from Ethiopia, Binyam, they're trapped. They got kids by these ladies. They're as we heard from the other Ari, I'm in your life for the rest of your life. What she said, I'm attached to you for the rest of your life, whatever the heck it was she said. They're trapped. You and Daniel have a chance to get the hell out of these situations. I hope that you do. And now we're on to Shaeeda and Bilal. Side note, is anybody watching I Love a Mama's Boy? I couldn't stomach that show. I tried to watch it and I was just too creepy. Like, how could you even be attracted to a guy that is so up his mother's ass that much? Like, I couldn't do it. They go on a picnic, and I remember writing down in my notes that Bilal always does something either cheap or free. Like the first date that he took her on was on he said they went to ride scooters, and it looked like those $2 scooters that you get downtown to just scoot around downtown. That's what I think that's where he took her, to ride $2 scooters. Then he took her on a $14 Ferris wheel. And yes, I'm clocking the money because he wants to talk about his money so much. When you make your money your personality, that's what makes people clock your dollars. There's like literally nothing else you can say about his personality. You can't say he's funny. You can't say he's a conversationalist or he's engaging. You can't say that he's a pleasure to talk to. You can't say like anything about his personality because he has not shown us anything of his personality. All he shows us is my money, my money, my money, my assets, my generational wealth. I'm using air quotes. You can't see me, but I am. He's made his monetary status his whole personality, and therefore that's what makes people clock his money like that. And everything that he's done for her so far has been super cheap or free. And again, going on this picnic, again, super cheap or free. And it's contradictory. It's like he's trying to punish her or something. I don't know. It's weird. Now, if it was, this is what's weird to me. If it was like Guillermo taking care on a picnic, I would have a different opinion because that's a 23-year-old. That's someone that's just starting out in life. You don't expect them to have a whole bunch of money. But I also feel that someone like Guillermo would probably have more conversational skills, more of a personality. Bilal has no personality whatsoever. He just sits there with his eyes bugged out. And it's so annoying. Toyman says, "Did I really hear that the prenup was if anything happens, he keeps his wealth and takes half hers? I literally said, what the f here at work. I missed that part. If that's the case, then that's BS. It also sucks because if her starting over in the US, if she reopens her business after she gets married to him, according to the courts in America, he would be entitled to half of her earnings should if her earnings surpass his. So that's what kind of sucks about that. If anything, like if I were her, what I would have done is I would have postponed the wedding. And if I was going to start my company in the US, I would have came on a work visa and started the company in the US first and then married him afterwards, because that way that company was established before the marriage was established. So it's not considered community property. Within a marriage, things that you acquire after you get married are considered community property. So the reverse is true. If he bought a new house because he's buying it after he's married her, that would be considered community property as well. So he's acting a little bit naive about his own prenuptial agreement because it can backfire on him, especially if he's considering himself trying to be this real estate mogul. Any property that you get after you marry her, she has a stake in, depending on the state, because certain states are different. In California, that's the case. Like California is the person takes half state. And when I say person, it's the person who earns less money. That's why Federline was being taken care of by Brittany, because he earned less money than Brittany. Actually has two women that he earned less money than. I can't remember his first. I don't know whether he was married to her or whether he just had children with her, but the young lady, I think he had children with the young lady from, it was a TV show. She was on a sitcom. It was a black girl from a sitcom. He had two children with her, and then he had two with Brittany. So he has two famous babies' mamas that he's receiving. Well, he has joint custody with the first two children. He has full custody of the last two children. But either way, my point is that in the state of California, the person who makes the less amount of money is the person that usually is entitled to alimony or possibly half of community property. And in Federline's case, he got alimony and child support. Fomikalitis says the Mama's Boy show got to be staged. I'm praying it's staged, because that is like mental illness on display. Chris says Bilal is good with inappropriate surprises. Yes. Yeah, that's his superpower, making things uncomfortable and inappropriate. I thought he'd bring up her signing the papers during a picnic. I did too, but he actually waited till later. Tony says that's what Shaeeda said. It was quick. Oh, so Shaeeda said, let me reread that. If anything happens, Bilal keeps his wealth and takes half of hers. Yeah, I would never sign that. I would never sign that. And I would smack him in the face for even giving that to me. Tony says it would explain her reluctance. Yeah, she needs to get a lawyer and modify because it's called a prenuptial agreement. It means that the two parties agree. It's not called the prenuptial what the hell Bilal wants. It's called an agreement, and he's not understanding that, or he's acting deliberately obtuse. Chris says the prenuptial he wants leaves her with nothing. Yeah, I wouldn't sign that. Moesha, thank you, Fominki Latte. Yes, it's the young lady from Moesha that she had two children with Kevin Federline that they have joint custody of. So I think neither one of them pay child support. I forgot what they talked about. Other than, did they talk about anything in the prenuptial agreement? Because it feels like that's all he ever talks about is prenuptial agreement. Shar Jackson, thank you, Tony Man. And Fo Minky Latte. Yeah, Fo Minky Latte said the show was Moesha, and Tony Man said Shar Jackson. Yes. And the thing about this, Shida, is if you continue with this man, you're going to get wrinkles because you're always going to be making this face at him. But, you said that we're all being mean to him because he's a black man and he's a Muslim. Little you know that most of us that are calling him on his bullshit are also black. So you see, I hate to use this expression because most of the people that use this expression are full of shit, but she literally did pull the race card. And ordinarily I would argue that down because usually the people who say, don't pull the race card are literally saying something racist, but she is literally pulling the race card by trying to say that we're talking about Bilal this way because I read her statement last week about how we are not used to seeing black men with money. Are you new here? We're used to seeing plenty of black men with money. Matter of fact, just earlier I was having a conversation with somebody and we were quoting how Lil Wayne said, "It ain't tricking if you got it." America has a lot of wealthy black men here. I beg to differ. If anything, we're kind of sick of seeing. But he's not one of them. That's your biggest issue. He's not one of them. You'll find that out. And the fact that he has no friends. We're his friends. Everybody on this show has had at least one lunch date or dinner date with friends. Even when he was at the mosque, those people he was walking up to, they look like they could care less whether he was coming to say hello to them or not. Nobody likes him. Tony Man says she brought up the ex making her uncomfortable. You should have told her about herself, but I get why you didn't because that just would have made more drama. But you were way polite to her. You were way polite, and she was not being polite to you at all. But on the flip side of that, that only made her look worse. So I guess you probably did the right thing because with the cameras being there, Shaeeda looked like an asshole compared to you. So I guess you did the right thing by not ripping into her. This is where he actually presents printed out prenuptial agreement. And this is the part I guess that Tony Man was talking about that I missed her saying that so quickly about the stipulations in there. And again, this is the look that, like, he must like her looking at him like this. And this look, like, it says this mother. That's the look that she gives, but he must like that. Maybe he likes to make her angry. Side note, her makeup is always on point. That eyeliner is always on point. Them lashes are always on point. Like, I don't know why he's this way with her. He should be much nicer to her. Not just because she's pretty, but in the grand scheme of things of 90 Day Fiancés, she sounds educated when she's speaking. She has a vocation. She has a lot of positive qualities that I don't feel he needs to put her through all these changes about. Because that's not easy to find in today's society. To find somebody that has all these positive qualities and she has no, baby daddy drama. She doesn't drink. She's not, it's like he's putting her through all these changes, and I don't think that she deserves to go through all this with him. I think she can do better, but she doesn't think she can do better, and there's nothing we can do about that. I've replaced the regular picture of um Jibri and Miona with this because they're married. So it's like it just makes no sense to still go through this charade on this show. But I'm going to talk about it anyways, even though I'm kind of bored with their. I'm gonna zip in my sweatshirt because it's warm now. But I'm bored with their whole situation because it's all it is arguing about a stupid ass beach wedding, and I don't care. So, anyways, Jabri is trying to smudge the house. Um, I don't think he totally understands how to smudge a house, but shout out to him for trying. While Halia's sitting on the couch, I guess grading papers or doing something. I think she's like a psychology professor or something like that. And Miona and her ponytail come to talk to Mahalia about how they've decided they're not going to have a beach wedding, but they are going to get married at Joshua Tree National Park. And she just wanted to let her know that she wanted to compromise so that the family could come. But apparently that's not good enough for Mahalia. And she's like, I'm still not coming. Oh my God. She is so. His mother is a piece of work. I don't know how to describe her, but she is something else. Just say you don't like this girl and go, because you're making all these excuses for why you don't want to be attend the wedding and all that. But of course, this is a reenactment, so I don't know what is the real issue. I don't know what the real issue is. Later, Miona tells Jibri what happened, as if he wasn't standing in a doorway listening to the conversation because he was smudging the house. So he says, side note, the mic sounds great. Is it new? No, it's the same mic that I use every day. Maybe it's because I'm sitting a little bit closer to the mic today. I am sitting closer to the mic. But thank you. And again, they're still wearing their matching clothes. I don't know why he has sunglasses on his head in the house. But, you know, she goes back and tells him that his mom is still not trying to go to their wedding. Mahalia proceeds to have a whole conversation with Brian's eyeballs. Because, like, she talks, and Brian just looks at her like this. And then she responds and talks again. And then Brian just looks at her like this. I think he finally did say something. Oh, yeah. I remember what it was he said. He finally said, I don't want to have a front row seat to a train wreck. That's what Brian finally said. And so that was their conversation. That's all that happened with them. I didn't feel like going too deeply into it because they didn't go too deeply into it. This is such a non-issue because we already know they're married. So it's like hard to watch this reenactment or whatever you want to call it. Okay. Ride safely, watch the road. Yve Mohamed. Yve must be really tiny because Mohammed looks quite tall next to her here, even though I know he's not that tall. They're on their way to visit a wedding venue, and Yve starts tearing up outside the wedding venue just at the sight of it because this is her dream. This is the venue, which does look very interesting. I like the design over here with the scalloped, um, I guess, walkway with these columns. My mind was reaching for words. Yeah, it's a nice place, but he doesn't really agree to having a wedding here. He'd rather get married in a mosque because, as he's told us 11 times, he's a Muslim, even though he only subscribes to certain Muslim things, like not drinking, but sleeping with a woman unmarried. That's fine, you know. He picks and chooses when he wants to be Muslim and when he doesn't. I wish he would pick and choose when to redo his roots because I'm sick of seeing his hair growing out. If you don't tell this lady to go buy you some new relaxer, or you go get a haircut and cut off that straight hair, and he should do a big chop, do a big chop, and grow your hair back natural, Muhammad. So he's arguing back and forth with her about having a wedding at the mosque, and she is crying about so much that her lashes lifting up. But I like these lashes. I like when they start off kind of low here and they get longer at the end. Nice set of lashes, not the best application. But anyway, she's crying about this being her dream wedding, and like, you're almost 50 years old. Cut it out. You sounding like you. Well, a lot of times Yve sounds like she's 20 years old instead of 48. That might be an insult to 20-year-olds. I know 20-year-olds that are a little bit more mature than Yve. I don't know what's her Arrested Development about, but get over it. Like, oh my gosh. don't care about this whole wedding situation. Anyways, they're arguing in the house, and of course, Mohammed is like, "Well, if you don't want to get my paperwork together, I'll just go find another sponsor, and or I'll go back to Egypt." And Eve goes in the room and starts crying, and Mohammed was basically just looking like, look at his face, this smirk on his face, because he know what he said. Anyways, I wouldn't be crying in a room over some little 25-year-old baby. No offense to 25-year-olds, but to people like me in our 40s, you're babies, and you would never make me cry. Fomiki says, why are they together? They're together because Eve wants a babysitter, and technically it's illegal what she's doing because he's not supposed to be working, and by making him babysit, she's actually making him work, and she's not paying him, which is kind of like slavery. So I'm looking at Eve kind of funny. Also, you haven't known this person that long to leave your disabled son around him. He might not be trained. Well, we know he's not, might not. He's not trained to deal with what if Theron has a meltdown, because sometimes children with autism have meltdowns. What does Mohammed know to do if Theron has a meltdown? Chris says, Eve's whole situation makes me sad. She's super invested in the wedding, and he's ready to bounce every day. Yeah. Tommy says, I noticed the common theme was I, and me. Everyone is so self-absorbed. This is true. Very, very true. She should let him go back. Yes, she should. Not only because you don't really love each other. Let's get that out of the way right now. But the other thing is, this man, he misses his mommy so much. Send him back to his mommy. He's not ready to be away from her. Send him right back to his mommy. I think that's all I had for this episode, as a matter of fact. I think that's the last picture, right? Yeah, that was my last picture. This episode, I feel like it was a filler episode. And I hate that they think that they need to have a certain number of episodes, because I'm ready for us to have the tell-all already. And I'm still not sure if certain people are going to show up. I actually don't think. Oh, wait, before I leave, there was something I almost forgot to show you guys. Remember last week we were talking about Thais trying to make that Brazilian, what was it called? Stroganoff. Our friend Chris made the Brazilian stroganoff. Let me share my screen. Hold on. Move this over. I can't believe I almost forgot that. Here we go. Oh. Okay. This is Chris's blog. It's called A Dang Food Blog. And the title is 90 Day Made Me Do It. Brazilian Chicken Stroganoff. Oh, I've read that one. Chris says he could go on that other show. Which one? The 90 Day Single Life? Or, oh, no, the other show. I know what you're talking about. I Love a Mama's Boy. Yeah, he could go on that show. Tony Man says, wait, Chris, you could have sent some to Florida. You might want to take that back when we read the blog. Let me show you what happened here. So, making Brazilian chicken stroganoff, she has listed the ingredients. 1 serving prepared, inspired by Lady Shasha 90 Day Fiance recap. Oh, thank you. The recipe I used can be found here. Here's what I have. 1 tablespoon of butter, 1 teaspoon of garlic, 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, 2 ounces of water, not pictured, 3 tablespoons of ketchup, 1 cup of onion, 1 quarter cup of cream, 11.7 ounces of chicken, half a cup of quinoa, 6 ounces of water, 1 tablespoon of yondu, and a quarter cup of green onion. And as you can see, these are the ingredients that she has laid out so nicely here. I love the picture compositions. By the way, she does have a Instagram. and she's written down the preparation. I won't go into like detail the preparation, but she did add green onions. And here's the final plate, which looked eons better than what Thais served up. And then her final verdict is this was very bland. I could try it again and use fresh tomatoes or do more stuff to dress it up. I just don't think ketchup belongs in a creamy chicken dish this way. So I'm glad that you took one for the team for us to find out about this chicken stroganoff or Brazilian stroganoff. I prefer the original beef stroganoff. Chris says the show with the sons who are into their mothers. Yes, yeah, that's he should be on. I Love a Mama's Boy. Eve should be on there with him. Yeah, Chris, do you have your? You know what? Your Instagram is not listed here. Let me see at the top. It's let's see. Chris, if you have time, please put your Instagram in the chat because it's not on your site because she has lots of great food dishes. Her recipes say these are popular blog posts here. Dinner on Spice Islands. She has good recipes as opposed to what Thais does. Galette and crepes. I love crepes. This one, ginger orange pork loin meal. These are so, so good. Tony Man says, Chef Chris posts the site. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to put this in the chat so that people can follow. Well, this is, it's called a dang food blog.blogspot.com. And Full Mickey Latte says, I'm actually surprised it was bland. Well, in the recipe, there weren't a lot of seasonings. The most seasoning you had was for that particular recipe was garlic and onion, but there weren't any like spices added to it. I think you'd have to find the right combination of spices. And I would skip the ketchup and just use I mean, I'm not a fancy cook or anything, but I was wondering why she used ketchup instead of just the tomato paste. Like I didn't get the purpose of having the ketchup and tomato paste. I feel like it would taste better with just the tomato paste and not the ketchup. I did see some recipes online that they didn't use yellow mustard, they used Dijon mustard, which that I'm quite sure makes a difference. Let me put that up on the screen so that people can see. And that is that for this episode, I guess. Are you guys looking forward to the 90-day UK? I don't know whether that's going to be on regular TV or whether it's going to be on Discovery Plus. Chris says, I'm failing at Instagram right now. This recipe needs a whole lot more than was listed in the one I tried out. Well, there are some things you can do to help you with Instagram, especially some scheduling apps. I'll send you like on our other chat. I'll send you info about the apps that I use that help me to pre-schedule tweets, and that takes a lot. Not just tweets. I'm sorry, Instagram posts as well. That takes a lot of pain in the neck out of it because I don't want to. I'm not an everyday Instagram person, but in order to do this, it helps to post on Instagram every day. So it's really, really helpful if you use apps that allow you to schedule your Instagram posts so that you can sit down for like 30 minutes or 40 minutes a week, schedule out your Instagram posts and for the month, and then you're good. And you already have a lot of content since you already have a blog. You already have your images and everything for content. You can even turn your blog posts into YouTube content or TikTok content by just using the images and doing a voiceover. But that takes time too. So I know Foamiculite says I thought it was going to taste nasty. I don't think it would taste necessarily bad, just not as good. Just kind of it would miss that tanginess. It needs a tanginess. I think it would miss that. Although I really like onions and garlic on any type of meat. It's I think it's the cream on chicken. I don't like the creaminess on chicken so much. Tommy says, I need a damn bike holder for my phone. I'm tired of holding it. Chris says, I want to see the UK version. I want to see the UK version too. I would love to play the trailer, but TLC likes to ding me for anything that you. What's irritating about them is they will literally ding you for or copyright claim you, but then when you dispute it, they release it. So it's like, why do you keep doing it over and over again if you're just going to release it and say I didn't do anything wrong? Now you're wasting both of our time. I hate that. Chris says, I appreciate it. I have so many food pics I haven't posted. Mm-hmm. And I know that would be a hit on, because what's funny is TikTok is kind of taking over certain spaces that Instagram occupied, and there's a clean talk TikTok. So I'm sure there's a cooking talk. They have all these different communities on TikTok, and the clean talk one. I mean, I never seen so many people that they really have great conversations over the right cleaning products. It's very I found out about it from my sister. She's on Clean Talk. She's always telling me, oh, you can use this to clean this, or you can use this to shine that. And it's just a whole thing. But let me get out of here and get some hot tea so my voice can stop sounding like this. And I will talk to y'all soon. Oh, by the way, on Thursday, no, what? I'll put a little video on here because I'm not sure of all the details, but I'm going to be on someone else's channel on Thursday for an interview, but it's going to be on Instagram Live, which I am new to. I've never done an Instagram Live before. You'd think they'd want the free advertising. Yeah, they don't get free advertising in this country. Yet if I do this for like which I'm planning on doing, I need to find a good South Korean reality show. They understand free advertising. But I need to find a good South Korean reality show to watch that I can talk about on this channel because I would love to do those. I saw a clip from a dating show that was funny as hell. I got to find the name of that show and maybe I can cover that one. But let me get out of here. I'm droning on and on and on. But thank you again for stopping by. I really enjoy talking to you. Even on days like this where I'm not, feeling 100%, it picks up my spirits to talk to you guys about the foolishness that is 90 Day Fiance. So I will see you again next week. Thanks again. Take care.